Welcome to the OC bitches.
Welcome to the OC bitches. bitches.
Today we're season 2, episode 14, The Rainy Day Women.
The best episode, not only of the OC, but ever in television history. According to some people. That was a quote that I found. Lee Palmieri from Decider, a journalist. I don't know if you know her or not.
I don't know her personally, but I'm familiar with Decider, and obviously I'm a big fan of theirs.
And everyone who, if you hear that voice, you might actually recognize it now, since it is his third time here with us.
Am I the first three-peat?
The trifecta. Yeah, you're the first three-peat.
Nice studio you guys got here.
Is it reminiscent a little bit?
It's reminiscent. I walked in, I'm like, that is not the backing, but good enough. Close enough.
It's close enough.
It's good enough.
That's all you can ask for in Hollywood.
Well, thanks for having me back, guys. Very excited to be here.
Thanks for coming out to the Deep Valley today in this fine afternoon.
It's my pleasure.
What do you mean? I thought we were in Malibu. Yeah. I mean, the OC.
Newport, yeah.
Newport. All we're missing is Seth's boat saying, give me sex.
The give me sex.
Oh, we're going to get into all that today.
All that.
I actually really enjoyed this episode.
So, The Rainy Day Women.
Yes.
It definitely, in my, of course, research, it is one of the favorites, if not the favorite, of quite a few people. And I'm curious, first of all, the title. How did the title come to be? What came first? The Spider-Man kiss, the idea of rain, the Bob Dylan song?
I had basically, I didn't have much. I just had this idea that I just really wanted it to rain in Newport Beach. I just thought, again, being an East Coaster, coming out to California, SoCal for college, as I've talked about, I was stunned to see how people reacted when it rained in Southern California.
It wasn't just an urban legend. It really is true.
I would literally be like, they're covering this on the news. Like it is like war breaking out in Ukraine. They're like, it is raining in Los Angeles. Like people were all, and no one could drive and people would freak out. No one wanted to leave their house. I was like, what are we doing here? It's just rain.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. So wanted to make it rain and
not throw money.
That too, but that was when we went to Vegas. But I wanted to make it rain, and I just had this other like really goofy idea that somehow Seth needed to be hanging upside down in a Spider-Man mask in the rain, kissing Summer by the end of the episode. How that was going to happen, whether we fully achieve that in terms of like he's up, he doesn't have an umbrella, he looks goofy in a hat.
Right.
It's his protective rain gear, is the Spider-Man mask, the satellite's out. He brings a rope to the roof. I mean,
he's a sailor.
Huh?
He's a sailor. He has a rope.
It was a good slip knot, whatever they do.
Yes, that is.
So the incubation was, it was sitting in your mind for a while from the start of the OC?
Yeah, it was an idea that was kicking around. Again, not a lot more than that.
Right.
And then it fell upon all of our really talented writers to help give, a reason for this to, and just, what are we going to do? Besides, it's raining. That's just not quite enough for an episode, believe it or not. Although it does end up kind of impacting multiple stories in very credible ways. And I will be honest that when I was here the last time to talk about the season 1 finale, that is an episode, as I spoke about, it has like a very emotional kind of feeling, just very nostalgic. There's some stuff going on in my personal life. I just didn't feel like emotionally capable of watching that episode and rewatching that episode. And I was like, well, I'll remember. Then I came in here and you were like breaking it down beat by beat. And I was like, crap, I'm really
You're
not
like,
prepared.
Who's Ryan?
Yeah, not quite. But I was playing the role of Rachel that week. But this week, I watched it. I have not watched this episode in 15, 16 years since it aired.
Really?
Wow.
And I'm usually very critical, self-critical, self-loathing. I enjoyed myself.
You did.
I did.
You were live texting me as you were watching it.
I thought it was delightful. It made me laugh, and I enjoyed it. So I'm excited to be here and to talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you're here to do so. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. And was it like a pivotal episode?
It was.
Was it airing at a certain time, or what was the deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's episode 14. So, traditionally, the way network television would work, you get your 13 episodes, you get your back 9. This was like one of our shortest seasons. We only did 22 episodes in season 2. But this was kind of also an episode that was built to wrap up some storylines.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's sort of the end of the Lindsay storyline, end of the Zach storyline. I gotta say, I found
this is the end of the Zach storyline.
Not the end of the Zach storyline, but like the
tap the brakes. You're okay.
I love him.
The culmination.
She doesn't remember.
She really doesn't remember.
No, but it's great because I'm rewatching them as everyone else is, and I'm going along.
It's like you weren't even there the first time around.
So I have no spoilers because I don't know anything.
Right. You know nothing.
Right.
And also
wait till you get to the end of season 3. Have I got a surprise for you?
Okay. The Sandy Rebecca storyline.
Yep. That was
another
the culmination
one.
of that. That was a polarizing storyline.
Mm-hmm. I've had many issues with that storyline.
We'll
let's talk about it.
Well,
we will. Yeah.
That was the third rail of the show that we were like, everybody says you can't mess with, as Julie says, can't mess with, your Sandy and Kirsten.
Yeah.
The moral epicenter of the show.
The moral epicenter. Yeah. Yeah. We'll get into there's so many self-referential things.
So I mean, it's from
when Summer says, Seth, are you here to actually advance the plot?
You're right. Very meta.
Very meta.
Yeah. But yes, so it's the rainy day women means so much. It reflects the mood of everyone. Everyone's melting down.
Mm-hmm.
The only person who seems to be relationships are ending. People are leaving. It's
a flood.
Wrapping up.
It's a flood of emotion happening in this episode.
There's all these storylines are wrapping up. People are leaving. The only person seems to be in a decent place. Actually, is Marissa for once.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, we haven't had you here since the Alex and Marissa storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything?
No, I mean, we talked about. I think I talked about when we were talking about the pilot that Olivia Wilde had read for the role of Marissa, and it came down to Misha and Olivia, and we just fell in love with Olivia, and we were like desperate to figure out how to get her on the show, and so created the role of Alex for her, and she's awesome.
Awesome.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great. Has chemistry with everybody. Had chemistry with Seth in those scenes. Chemistry
you can put
with
her
Marissa.
Anywhere.
Yeah, she was really good.
I noticed that quite a few comments that I've discovered were that one of the reasons that people love this show is that it was so satisfying. It had so many it wrapped up the storylines, and it was also, we've been going along, like you said, the first part of the season. So now we're at the half. It marks the halfway point.
A little past the halfway point, but
just past, and then we're going to get into and those
because Trey's coming.
Right. And we've got
yes, he is.
And we've got
that
Carter coming, and we've got, all these things.
Who's Carter? Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's me, but my evil twin. But no, there's so many things that were so satisfying. And there's so many iconic, obviously you talked about the Spider-Man kiss, but then there's the kiss with Marissa and Alex, and these cigar scenes, these little tidbits that just, I think.
We brought back the summer breeze.
Right.
Well.
That's right. So let's get into it.
Formerly known as the summer breeze.
FKA.
Yeah.
FKA.
Well, let's read the synopsis. Summer can't fight it anymore. Seth is the one. Ryan is surprised when Lindsay finds out she's Caleb's daughter, yet makes a difficult decision. Marissa's relationship changes its course when she moves in with Alex.
That was a short synopsis.
No mention of Sandy and Kirsten.
Sandy, that's a pretty big thing that happens. Also, the Sandy, Kirsten, Rebecca triangle comes to a
soggy conclusion.
Soggy conclusion.
Directed by Michael Fresco, favorite
Love
of the
Fresco,
show.
Yeah. He was great. I really remember liking him.
Written by...
It's great that you have a memory.
Josh Schwartz. Do you know... we've tried to reach out to Michael Fresco.
I thought you were going to say, do you know Josh Schwartz? Because we've tried to reach out to him.
He's
nope.
He's not available.
He's not available.
A little loose. Yeah. Anyway.
I remember Michael Fresco. I believe his brother is a super talented comedy writer, and Michael kind of moved back and forth between comedy and drama. And didn't he have like a farm in like upstate Washington? Like
you're asking me?
Well, that's true. or he lived on like a remote part in the Pacific Northwest. He had a little something.
So anyway, this episode opens. First of all, with Blind Melons, no rain. So it's raining in the OC.
Yeah. So that was the other idea. It was like, it's got to open with Blind Melons, no rain.
Well, how hard was it to get that song?
It wasn't hard.
Oh. Really?
It wasn't. I don't remember it being hard. It was written in the script. Wasn't hard. It actually opens, the first voice you hear of like, it's raining in Orange County is either Kevin or Bean.
Right. Who were VJs for
K-Rock.
Who were like iconic, who had us on the show, on their show at the end of season 1 and talked about the show a bunch.
And in fact, I remember that now that you said it, but listening to it, watching the episode, I was like, whoever they got to do that was great because it sounds real.
Yeah.
Because honestly, that was probably, every time it rains, the 4 times it rains every year, it's true. That's what they do. But what a wonderful opener. And And also, you had some other iconic 90s songs throughout this. And that
Sure.
was the 90s nostalgia was kind of a choice, I would imagine.
I think it's just imbued in us.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay. So as we cross this kind of epically dark, and that is how dark it gets when it rains
Well, and
that
also
hard.
that they reworked all of the footage, all the establishing shots, all
Right.
of the
They just
helicopter
added
shot,
rain?
added rain to all the shots.
Which was harder back then.
Like special effects,
Yeah, we
right?
got each cell out of film and we colored it in ourselves by hand.
Yeah,
no,
you did that.
Yeah, no, they were able to do it. It looked pretty good.
It did. It looked like it was raining.
And we had all these rain machines in the stages,
Mm-hmm.
and and I remember there was all these
that being so
catches to like. I think we flooded a few
how
things.
it drains is like a whole technical
Well,
thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because these sets are built indoors, and then you added rain machines. It's not.
Yeah, and then you have to have things to like where the water has to go somewhere and catch the water and recycle it back up, and
It's like
a whole
it's like a
process.
ride at Universal or something. The way the water's recycled, you have to do it on a set.
Yeah. I don't really remember the specific mechanics of how we made it rain, but I know it was a big logistical undertaking, and they pulled it off really well.
They did.
The other thing that I think is important to point out with the logistics with rain is that we shoot 24 frames, right? 24 to 30 frames. And to make the
Can you
water...
explain that? I don't even know what that means.
You
It's
don't
the
need to
speed of
explain
the
it.
frame, but so that the frame can
People
capture...
might want to know.
People understand.
I guess I'm not people.
But to actually see the rain
Yes.
on film, we have to literally torrential downpour. The pure amount of water is huge. It's way more than a California drizzle or just a
Mhm.
light rain. It's a lot. So when we open with Ryan opening the curtains and Seth looking out, it's pretty intense
Mhm.
and hysterical. Their
Some
reactions.
good, some nice silent comedy, physical comedy
From
between
Ben? Yeah.
both of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
delightful. It's like a little silent film at the beginning of who's going to lure the other one out
Yeah.
from the pool house, and obviously Seth tries to work the bagels in.
Yeah.
Ryan's not feeling
Which
it.
he does have a fair point. Like he's in the kitchen. There is no
eventually
kitchen in the
Ryan's
pool
gonna
house.
have to. Eventually, Ryan's going to have to come out there.
I love when Ben does any comedy. Like
I mean, he does. There's a big gag
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
completely forgotten about
The
when he's
big
climbing
physical-
in the window.
yep,
Yeah,
physical comedy from Ben,
Mhm.
which is great when
No,
we get there.
he made me laugh. Ben made me laugh several times in this episode.
I don't know if you obviously you haven't been listening. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Since you have listened, but not always, Ben is my new boyfriend. I'm watching the show
She's
and I'm
fallen
realizing
in love with Ben.
that I love
watching.
Ryan.
This is all a long con to try to get Mackenzie on the show, but God bless. I support it.
No,
Would
oh
it
my
work?
God, wait. I was watching a movie the other night.
Yeah.
What was it? I Want You Back with
Yeah, he's
Jenny
in the-
Slate. And no, I'm watching it. I had no idea. And Charlie Day. And all of a sudden I'm like, is that Ben? Like I had to pause it and I tried to get a picture of it to post it, but it was not a nice, flattering
Oh.
screenshot I got, so I
Okay.
didn't. But I almost texted you that it was him. And it was him. It's one scene.
Right.
Oh, nice.
It was nice to see him.
He's a great guy.
Yes. So the boys are trying to lure each other to out in the rain.
Yeah.
Instead, they call on the phone.
On their flip phones.
On their
and
flip
and
phones.
of course, Seth is discussing the fact that he's going to lose Summer forever. He's lost her already
Yes, he has.
because that's all he can talk about is himself, which is okay.
Teenage
Right.
boy. Teenage boy. Come on.
Teenage boy, yes. Sorry. I'm not insulting him. I'm just
Yeah.
Well, no, we can insult him. It's okay.
And Ryan hasn't seen Lindsay since she rushed out on him at the party.
Oh,
Right. So he's kind of
when
like
they say they don't know if Caleb is her father. We didn't remember that. Of course, I didn't. But Melinda didn't remember that happening in the show. That it was like
Well, that was
you
the
should
big
say-
cosmic
I didn't remember.
a DNA
meltdown.
test. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't
It's a staple
remember.
of the nighttime soaps. Is somebody's got to take a DNA test at some point.
I just didn't remember the scene where Renee says he may not be the father.
Oh, that's
I
what
was
it
like,
was. Yeah.
"What?" I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Well, you got to throw the audience off the scent.
Yeah. You can't just like, there's no direct line.
No.
If you ever question anything, that would be boring.
Mm-mm.
There'd be nothing to talk about.
It's true.
No.
Right. But what happens with the boys now? I don't even remember. Ben White, whatever.
We can't expect you to hold on to these memories for more than 48 hours.
They
Two
just, they
It's like
just have to have their
total-
morning.
Do you know I
total
even
recall.
had it?
Just have it in, yeah.
I had the episode playing this morning, just
Just
like
to
in the
refresh.
background, so just to kind of catch things.
Must be so hard to be you.
It is.
Yeah.
They just decide that, they have their morning therapy session, which is something that they have to do every morning. It's a
Right.
ritual.
When you live with Seth. But
But-
then we have this. I love this
You
song.
basically are Drew Barrymore in 51st
Dates. I know.
Like in real life.
I am told this all the time. Okay.
It's not a compliment, but okay. All right. So yeah, in every sunflower,
Okay.
Have you seen that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I remember it too.
eternal sunshine of Bilson's mind. Okay,
So, Rachel, I've always been a big fan of planning ahead, scheduling trips months in advance, plotting out my next career move, figuring out what I'm doing for dinner while I'm still eating breakfast. I do that every day. But I actually didn't do a lot of planning for kids.
But for those who know they want kids, plan ahead with the help of Modern Fertility. It's an easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. Mail it in with a prepaid label and you'll get your personalized results within 10 days.
You'll get insight into your hormone levels, your ovarian reserve, aka how many eggs you have compared to other women your age, and other important fertility factors. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps.
Traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000, but Modern Fertility gets you the same info at $159, a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/OC, you can get $20 off your test.
Also, if you have an HSA or FSA, you can put those dollars toward Modern Fertility.
Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/OC.
That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office.
Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/OC, modernfertility.com/OC. Finding that perfect skincare routine is never easy. And with my skin concerns, I have super dry skin. I mean, I still get acne and I'm 40. It's a little unsettling. I used to buy tons of products, which made my routine a 10-step process, but that all changed when I started using Proven Skincare.
Proven Skincare is rooted in science. They have analyzed the universe of skincare by studying the effectiveness of over 20,000 skincare ingredients from over 100,000 skincare products and over 28 million testimonials. All this data has given Proven the ability to pinpoint exactly what your skin needs.
And all of this analysis results in Proven Skincare's custom 3-step system that actually works, including a personalized cleanser, day moisturizer with SPF, and personalized night cream. This simple and effective system replaces my shelf full of products.
Oh, this is one of my favorite products. Absolutely. That I was introduced to because of this podcast. I'm such a fan of the entire system. The cleanser, it's kind to my skin. The moisturizer, the daily one has SPF, but my favorite is the night cream. I use tretinoin. How do you say that? Tretinoin. And that means that I need a really good moisturizer. I just love all the products.
Yeah, for me, all my moisturizers in the past never had SPF in it, and I know how important that is for your daily routine. Proven Skincare has solved that for me.
Plus, your formulations are updated every 8 weeks to evolve with you, based on changes in your skin or environment and your skin's acclimation to active ingredients. Mine just changed now that it's getting warmer.
Give your skin exactly what it needs with Proven Skincare. Go to provenskincare.com to take the free skin genome quiz and use code the OC for $20 off your first order.
That's provenskincare.com. Code THEOC for $20 off your first order. provenskincare.com, code THEOC. So let's move into the Cohen bedroom.
Yeah,
Now,
dark.
This song,
We have some we also have some very ominous, well-placed thunder and lightning happening throughout this episode.
Right.
Is that added after?
Yeah, I mean, there's like some light effects and stuff.
Yeah. But in Every Sunflower by Bell X1, this song reminds me of this time.
Yes.
Like,
We used a few of their songs.
So good.
it's
really
so
good. It's very
haunting.
dark. Yeah, it's haunting. I don't remember if it was scripted this way or if this was an idea of Matt Ramsey, our editor, or somebody else to have it sort of, recur
repeats.
throughout the
does
episode.
It repeats whenever Rebecca shows up throughout the show.
It's the Rebecca dirge. It's the Rebecca funeral dirge. Yeah.
Oh, God.
But we haven't seen. So last we saw, Sandy was a asshole to her at the party saying, I don't know if I trust you. Rebecca's taken off. And she's like, whoa, then we've got some big problems.
Because Kirsten confronts Rebecca and is like, are you in love with my husband?
Yeah.
Fair.
Right.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen. So all we know is that Rebecca's gone. And we see Kirsten in bed. And all I can think is, well, she's gone at least, but now I'm depressed. And of course, 10 a.m. is like staying in bed all day. It's not that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But he's, he does that thing where he's like, oh, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. Not I'm sorry for what I've done, but I'm sorry you're feeling. And then the phone rings. She says, and he's like, Rebecca. And Kirsten, now I'm up. Like that lights a fire.
Yeah.
Can we just pause for a minute to shout out Sandy Cohen's like board shorts?
Well, yeah, did he go surfing?
Surfs in the rain. Sandy doesn't care. We're just going to get wet.
I mean, there's lightning, but let's risk it.
Maybe he got out there, he checked it out, he saw a flash of lightning, thought it wasn't safe.
Do we
home.
ever see Sandy actually surf?
No.
Oh.
Well, that was, I did make that note.
I mean, that's a challenging thing to shoot in,
Yeah.
But we've seen him like near beach adjacent.
The surfboard.
With the surfboard.
That counts.
I did make that note, but I didn't know if you'd have a comment on that.
On
but
what?
The fact that he was wearing board shorts. I couldn't tell if he's coming from a shower or surfing, but surfing. Let's say it's surfing.
My guess is Sandy woke up and was like, I'm not going to let a little rain stop me. I'm going to get my reps in, whatever surfers say.
Is a lot of times surfers don't surf because the water can be really dirty after a rain, but
Interesting.
Well, we didn't say he did surf. We just said he went out and
He's like, and
took a peek and said, not today.
Right. But he does that. And Rebecca, and sure enough, she's in a diner. Like, she's back. I thought you just left. And now she's doing the same thing to him of, I didn't want to leave without saying goodbye. And, stay where you are. I'll come get you. And Kirsten walks off the way Kelly would walk off. That's just my 2 cents. She's pissed.
I mean, also, I think, in defense of Sandy Cohen.
Yes. Interesting.
She's his client.
Right.
And he wants to make sure that she gets the proper, he's like, don't run. We can still fight this. Like, I do think sometimes Sandy's moral purity when it comes to issues of the law, his sense of righteousness, maybe sometimes clouded his sense of how he was affecting his wife in that moment.
Because by this episode, I started thinking, he's the one that really wants this. Rebecca's been saying, I don't even want to do this. It's too scary. And he's been fighting for, let's get you amnesty.
Right.
More than her.
Yeah. Because I think he's an idealistic guy. And I think he's just trying to make sure that she ends up in a good place long-term.
That's a fair point. Just because of how much enthusiasm there is, even if she's on the phone in front of Kirsten, that he's not.
I think, his sense as a lawyer in that moment, I think, clouded his kind of awareness of what it was doing to Kirsten.
Yes.
He knew he had the right intentions, which he does through the whole episode.
Right.
He holds the line.
But there are moments in this that I'd point out where I'm like, gosh, what's going on in Kirsten's head right here? Like, what's going on? Like, what is she thinking? What is she? And she's being incredibly cool throughout a lot of this, I think. But throughout everything, like the last episode, when he gets so angry at her for talking to Rebecca, it's what a gut punch that must be for her. Like, she's just trying to navigate these waters and survive here. She probably feels like she's being pulled under a bit.
Team Kirsten, this whole storyline.
Well, when we started the storyline, Miss Rachel, you were so excited about it.
Well, it was interesting.
She's liking the adult storylines now.
Oh, yeah. That's my other thing. I'm like, I love the adult storylines.
They were good.
Watching as like a 40-year-old, you're like, I can relate to this now.
Yeah. That's why we had a broader audience than your average teenage show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then we go to Julie and Caleb's house.
Yes.
Julie is making bagels.
Making bagels.
Soon they'll be keeping kosher.
Right.
That's what she says.
I remember this episode vividly. And I remember the scene and how much fun it was. It just was so, you could just see how much fun.
Yeah.
And, she instantly is doing that. Well, the Coens, this like pushing on the bagel maker very delicately. And I got to say, there's something very genuine about this because, yes, I grew up in Orange County, but
no.
But I didn't know what a
bagel
matzo ball was until I moved to LA.
That's crazy to me.
You didn't know what a matzo ball was?
I didn't know what matzo ball soup was until I worked at Jerry's Deli.
Well,
you worked at Jerry's Deli?
Well, Starkey's. It was in the Beverly Center.
That must have been a crash course. You're like,
totally.
What's kishka?
Right.
What's a knish?
No, I mean, and my parents, we didn't have bagels. So I can.
You didn't have bagels?
No, we had English muffins.
Bagels have gone more mainstream.
Totally.
I
You'd
think.
say they weren't as mainstream?
In the
growing up?
I have
70s.
no perspective on this because I was like basically born and placed upon a bagel. Like that was instead of a bassinet. My first thing that I teethed on was like a stale bagel. Like that's all we knew.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
I
was an
guess
East
that's
Coast
true.
Jew, so I
And
don't
I'm
know.
a halfer, so I
Yeah.
grew up with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't say, but that's very interesting.
No, I think it's. I bet this show
It's
is
probably a great
helpful.
story of when bagels finally made it behind the orange curtain.
Totally.
Neighborhood.
And it was after the OC came
Mindy
on.
will find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find it. Right.
But I did have the thought that would have been a really good wrap gift for everybody is one of those
Oh,
bagel
the bagel
slicer.
guillotines. Yeah.
Bagel guillotine.
That's
Yep.
what they're called. Hot.
Is that what they're called?
I don't know if that's
They
their
should be.
official title, but yeah.
But that's good.
That's what they
Oh
do.
my
You got to
God.
be careful. Can we just sidebar here for a moment?
Yes.
Yes.
Because if the bagel is too soft sometimes and you put it in the guillotine,
Just smush
it
it.
doesn't slice, it smushes. And it's so, it's not a perfect.
It's not a wait. That reminds me.
Oh.
What episode we brought up Matt Miller and the Matt Miller sandwich, and I was like, I cannot pitch this sandwich. I cannot say it exactly. Only Schwartz can.
I mean,
Why did it come up?
Because
remember?
Because Matt Miller was the name in
Oh, yeah.
one of the episodes.
Matt Miller was a character.
Right.
And I said, Matt Miller is one of Schwartz's best. And I went into
Yeah.
the whole spiel about
Yeah.
Canner's Deli and the Matt Miller.
Yeah. He had a sandwich.
And it consists of turkey and
I mean, we're doing it?
Yes, do
Yes.
it.
All right. I have to do it as Matt Miller. Matt, you're not going to watch this, but if you do, if someone passes this along to you, this is to promote your sandwich only. So Matt has a Philly accent. He's out of Philly. So the way he would pitch the sandwich and the way he pitched it to Canner's and got it on the menu was, we open with an egg bread or a challah. Turkey, Munster, the most underrated of all cheeses. Slaw in, shut it down and grill it. It's in the Reuben family. That was the Matt Miller sandwich.
See? Worth it.
There you go.
I said, I cannot. We need.
It's hard to do with headphones on. I do it better,
You
Matt
did it.
Miller, when
No,
I can't
you
hear my
did.
own
You-
voice. Okay, but it's fine.
It's
That's
still
amazing.
Okay.
it holds up.
It's still played.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to Canner's.
Go
On
to
that
Canner's,
note-
have a Matt. It's called the Matt Special.
The
Okay.
Matt special. On
So,
that note,
Alex and Marissa
and
are making
Marissa
out. Yeah.
making
be a-
out behind Julie's back,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
was funny.
Which is
Well-
very funny.
Well, I mean, the first thing is she says hello to Marissa, and Alex is there, and she's like, "Oh, you're the feisty girl that Caleb
Mm-hmm.
told me about. And do you want a bagel?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't even eat breakfast." And Julie's like, "Oh, how punk of you."
Yeah, very
Yeah.
punk.
I used to be a little punk in my day, but it's
Who am I kidding? It's still my day. Yeah.
am I kidding?
Yeah.
It's still my day.
Yeah.
But she instantly recognizes. She becomes like mean girl, like that recognition of she's a cool girl, and I
Right.
need her to know just how cool I was. Just like
Yeah,
the
we get some insights into Julie Cooper's sordid past. Something about Motley Crue.
Motley
some-
Crue, some
starting to
Jaeger.
come
some
in.
sexual experimentation that
Right.
took
Only-
place.
Yep.
only phases,
Yeah,
which is
only
so
phases.
derogatory.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I mean, obviously, would this episode have been written in 2022, we'd probably have a more evolved view of things. But also, Newport Beach, some conservative enclaves there where maybe things haven't even evolved
Yeah.
Yes.
since 2004.
Right.
or 5.
Yes, that is true.
But as she turns around and comments on the rain, of course, as a fan favorite, seeing them making out and the
Mhm.
music in the background
Mhm.
and just having so much fun. And of course,
It's nice to see Marissa having fun.
absolutely.
I know.
And Misha did, I remember doing, in this scene, there was something, Misha just did a great job.
She did.
Yeah.
And
She
she's
did a
got some really
fantastic
light,
job.
fun moments in this
Mhm.
Yes.
episode, and it was nice. Yeah, it was nice
Right.
to see. Yeah.
And the way she did the milk and, it's, and oh no, Mom, she's my girlfriend. She's like, I know. She's like, no, my girlfriend, that's a girl. I know. And then just like,
Bye.
yeah. And that, like,
Yeah.
well, oh,
Mhm.
mouth drop.
Yep.
That's funny. I mean, she didn't, and Julie didn't like.
Drinking milk, swigging milk straight out of the carton.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
with the milk mustache.
Which I feel like, I was trying to remember if that was a deliberate homage, but the cast got offered a Got Milk campaign.
Oh.
We didn't do it.
You guys turned it down.
Oh, really?
I bet
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That
have
would not
turned
be
it
included.
down.
I would not be
Yeah.
included.
The
in
one thing I
that.
turned down, which I
The
still
Letterman Top 10
struggle with.
list, the cast turned that one down too. First
No.
cast to be asked to do the top 10 list since The Sopranos. You guys turned that down.
You say you guys, okay? This was not something. The only thing I remember turning down was the cover of Rolling Stone because they asked me to show my ass,
And
and I said no. I'm not going
And?
to show my ass.
how do you feel about that today?
I'm still on the fence.
All right.
Well, I mean, because like my ass would be out there. Like, I have
Let's
a kid.
be honest. Your ass has been out there.
The pilot, my ass was out there.
Yeah. I mean, come on. What are we
Got
talking
milk
about here?
would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have said no to that. Don't
And David
loop me
Letterman
into
top
that.
10 list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a supporting
And you
role.
turned down the Super Bowl commercial.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Yes, you did.
What Super Bowl commercial?
You got, oh my God. How do I, yes, you were offered a Super Bowl commercial.
Me or all of us?
You, and you passed and it went to Ava Longoria. That I remember.
Whoa, this is good stuff.
Why would I do such a thing?
Too cool for school. That's why. But anyway.
I passed on it.
Yeah.
You know why? I sometimes let people around me influence me a little too much.
I think
I'm going to leave it at that.
Those people were not me. You should have had me influence you.
I know. Well, now I always come to you with everything.
Yeah.
And Schwartz is like, yes, no, definitely no. Anyways.
Okay.
I did not remember that. Was it Pepsi or something? No.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that there were quite a few things.
My mind is blown
left
right
and
now.
right. I mean, I remember Misha doing Neutrogena and doing a lot of campaigns, but I don't remember people doing tons of campaigns.
Well, it becomes tricky with people who want to, do their own thing versus do things as a cast versus not, it was also a period of time where it was enough Gen X in our cast's blood that, that concept of like selling out or what feels too commercial, which obviously has been obliterated in the Instagram age.
Right.
Where it's all about like promotion and what have you. You can't sell out anymore. But back then you could, and God bless, everybody had integrity or making decisions that they thought were in the best interest of their own kind of artistic pursuits. So some of these things were turned down. It's not a judgment by me, but I feel like the milk thing may have been a bit of a wink and a nod.
There was a long period of time where
you just can't get over the Super Bowl
commercial. I can't get over the Super Bowl commercial.
I love the thrift shops. I have a lot where I live, some really cool ones. But, rummaging through things, especially like when it's a really hot day, let's just say I have to be in the mood for it. And ThredUp makes it so easy because it's all organized online.
At ThredUp, one of the largest online consignment and thrift stores, you can get one-of-a-kind finds from brands like Zara, J.Crew, and more for up to 90% off estimated retail. It's such a steal and so fun to visit their website daily.
Yes, with over 2 million like-new items to shop and thousands of new arrivals daily. It's the best place to shop for your wallet and the planet.
I love thrifting. I don't love thrift stores. Now, thanks to ThredUp, I can do it from the comfort of my home.
Customize your search by your size, style, and budget so you can find the best deals from more than 35,000 brands like Banana Republic, Madewell, Nike, and Ann Taylor Loft instantly. I've never been much of an online shopper, but I've become one since we've had to be at home so much. And I love finding treasures on ThredUp.
ThredUp is offering a deal just for new customers. So right now, head to thredup.com and get up to an additional 50% off plus free shipping on your first order.
That's up to an extra 50% off plus free shipping on your first order just by heading to thredup.com.
That's thredup.com for up to 50% off and free shipping on your first order.
Okay, Lindsay's room.
She plays the oboe. You keep calling it a clarinet. It is an oboe.
You're right. I'm wrong.
It's the saddest instrument.
It's the saddest instrument.
Whose idea was it for her to play the oboe?
It was not mine. I feel like that had to be like a John Stevens
I can only think
JJ
of
or
the
some
duck.
Lila, Stephanie, I don't know. Yeah.
The duck in Peter and the Wolf getting eaten because the oboe is the duck,
Oh.
And I was
What?
like, do you know Peter and the Wolf?
No.
Okay.
You turned it down.
Because I was going to get eaten. Anyway, so she's playing the oboe. Her hair looks beautiful in this scene, by the way. But now Ryan wouldn't go see Seth, but he braves, and he admittedly, it says,
Rode his
bad
bike.
choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bad decision, wasn't well thought out, but I rode my bike to...
In the rain.
We're assuming that obviously this isn't the fancy part of... This isn't Pelican Cove. This is somewhere else like in deep Costa Mesa, I would assume.
Okay,
So it's...
sure.
it's the other side of
Do you have
the
a
tracks.
map? Can we put a map up? We'll put some thumbtacks up. and-
Right.
Yeah, and this is a big bit of physical comedy here.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about it, and I laughed.
Me too.
Yeah, he just topples through
He
that
toppled
window.
through that
Right.
window.
Yeah,
He committed.
he did commit.
There's also something really... There's a lot of tropes in this episode that work, and one of them is the actors being wet. There's
People
something
are very
really
wet. Ben,
wet.
no one is wetter in this episode than Ben. The end of the episode. Yeah.
He has to,
It's true.
He has to also go in the water to possibly rescue Lindsay in the ocean in the episode.
A prior episode.
Episode.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. He looks hot to me. In this. It's just weird coming
He did
out
not have protective headgear like Seth. What do you expect? So he's there and Lindsay's the DNA test and You know, that old chestnut.
Yep.
So she thinks that she didn't answer the door because she thinks it was Caleb, and because Caleb wants her to take the DNA test, and she doesn't know, she doesn't want to, and
She wants to go to, she's thinking about going to Chicago.
All right. Summer's bedroom.
What is this? Oh, God, I have that yellow dress on.
that was an awesomely
lemon
hideous
meringue.
dress.
It really does look like lemon meringue.
Yeah. And
That's
this is where we
pretty funny.
introduce Seth at the door wearing the Spider-Man mask.
Yes, this is
So
where
this is how we start to try to buy the credibility that this is how Seth
Braves the rain.
Braves the rain. He's just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And Brody would have been a great Spider-Man.
He always wanted to be
He
Spider-Man.
would have
Yeah.
been a great Peter Parker.
Yeah, he
which
would have.
Which was also part of the motivation of like,
Yeah.
he is.
He
so
was
Peter,
like always
he is-
mad that he wasn't cast
Yeah, he
as
kind of, well,
Peter Parker.
the first movie had already come out,
Right?
or first two, because the kisses from Spider-Man 2,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Or I don't. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it is Spider-Man 2 Kiss.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
So when you
I
thought
bet
about it, when you
Diana can
so the
tell us.
idea of it being
Yeah.
this is the only headgear I've got that's waterproof.
That's waterproof. Yeah.
Looking back at it now, you're like, it works.
I bought
totally.
it. It works. He
Seth,
looked-
Seth
because it's
is a
quirky.
very odd person.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like,
he's
it
like, I don't look
definitely-
weird in a hat. And
I'm gonna
you
wear
know,
the Spider-Man mask.
Yeah.
Because-
But he goes to tell Summer whatever what is he trying to tell her?
He-
Don't
well,
go.
he's there to say don't go. And then he sees all the
Well, he's-
suitcases.
Yeah.
Light packer.
Many suitcases.
Light packer.
Well,
I can relate.
You say I'm in the wedding, and I think that's like
That's what jolts
That's
him.
what. Yeah.
That's
He's
what
like,
makes
He's
it
like,
oh,
oh,
serious.
you're
like
part
a
of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is odd that she's in the wedding after
By the
meeting
way,
the sister
Stranger
once.
things have
Oh, wait, the
happened.
line that made me laugh was when Zach, I guess this is later, is talking about his sister
Yeah.
and how she's very alienating and severe.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have any other friends.
Yeah.
But so that's how Zach's high school girlfriend ends up as a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
'cause
Which
she's
is
marrying
believable
She's marrying Rodolfo.
in Italy.
I think it sounds like a good spin-off. I think,
Yeah.
Zach's family.
yeah, there's a lot of spin-offs.
What
that I
happened?
see
What happened
happening.
to Rodolfo?
We never
Jolted-
saw that.
Left at the altar? It was unclear. She was definitely having second thoughts.
She was definitely having second thoughts.
But this is where that line of dialogue, which is awesome. Should we do this again, or did you actually come here to advance the plot?
Yeah, we did a lot of that. Just being like, it's another Seth Summers scene at the door. We've done a lot of these.
And he
It's just
chickens
like-
out again.
Is he going to move the story forward?
Yeah,
or is it just a
what's gonna
check-in?
happen?
Yeah.
In on the joke. We know how many times this has happened, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there's a big in on the joke coming later, which is what Seth is going to watch.
Oh,
night that the
yeah,
satellite
yeah,
dish
yeah,
goes
yeah,
out.
yeah. We'll
But
get there.
to that.
Okay.
Yes, we'll get to that. Okay, so then
We're at the diner.
Mm-hmm.
And was this a real diner? I couldn't remember. I could not figure out where
Versus
this
our
was.
set.
Versus a set diner.
Well, we had a
Where's-
diner set.
we
But
did.
yeah, this was different.
Sandy meets Rebecca. I don't know.
Anyway, they're at a diner. Save It for a Rainy Day by the Jayhawks
Mhm.
plays. And
Do you guys see a theme with the songs?
oh yeah.
No rain, save it for a rainy day. See what's
Oh,
happening?
yep.
All
Yeah.
right, thanks for playing.
but my note was, Sandy doesn't give up. He's not giving up.
He's very dogged.
Yeah.
He didn't
Right.
give up on Ryan.
It's true.
You know, this is part of his
And
character.
now we have a show.
It's true. What if he had just said in the pilot when Kirsten's like, can't bring him, it's not a stray puppy, and he just went,
You're right.
you're right. All right. And that was-
Right.
It was like a 7-minute show. And that was it.
he is that guy. He
Yeah.
did save Ryan.
He is.
So
So we
Gonna save
understand. We
Rebecca.
do. We understand. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
and this shows you how dedicated he is. It's messing with his marriage.
Yep.
And he's still this dedicated to helping her because he knows it's right.
Oh, Sandy.
But okay.
All right, let's go to Alex's. Marissa tells Alex that she told her mom.
She runs in soaking wet and hot and sexy looking. Sorry, I'm saying that about Misha. She's
It's
not
your
my real daughter.
It's your daughter.
Yeah.
But no, once again, she's
Yeah.
looking all like excited. But then Alex says, wait, did you say it to piss her off?
Right.
Marissa gets that a lot.
Alex is smart, though.
Yeah.
She's very smart.
Because that's a
She's
good
been
question.
through it, and she
yeah,
is...
well, also, like, is this real or is this just like a rebellious thing
Uh-huh.
you're doing to, make a point?
Right.
She's been through it. She knows all the tricks, and she actually really has very real feelings for Marissa. I mean,
Mhm.
I think they both do, but
Yeah.
but I think
This is a relationship is very real.
I know.
I-
And we can talk about this relationship was controversial
Right?
at the
Mhm.
time. And I've talked about this before a little bit, but we definitely had plans to keep Alex on the show longer than we were
Right.
than we did. But it was a post Janet Jackson,
Super Bowl.
wardrobe
I had to
malfunction
bring
at
up
the
the Super Bowl again.
Why do I bring
I
it
had
up every
just
time I'm
gotten
here?
over it. No, my commercial.
Oh, right. yeah, I guess your commercial would have aired during that Super Bowl. No, they probably wouldn't have timed out that way. But so there was the wardrobe malfunction, and the FCC and broadcast standards just became extremely strict for this period of time. And you know, I remember there was a promotion for the episode that was like hyping the first kiss between Marissa and Alex. And then what we were actually allowed to air was like a fraction of the length of that kiss when they're sitting together on the beach at night. So anyway, it was something we would have kept Olivia for who knows how long.
We talked about that, that you felt like we lost all credibility when they promoted it so heavily, but then the actual visual was kind of a
peck.
Yeah.
Which wasn't what we shot.
Yeah.
And felt more exploitative than I think we were going for in terms of the storyline.
Right. Okay.
Well.
Yeah, and now let's go back to Lindsay's bedroom and the DNA test. They returned from the maternity test.
Then they get all hot and heavy.
They're making out.
It's pretty hot and heavy.
Ryan,
He's second to pizza.
What?
They start talking about pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No deep dish, thin crust all the way.
Yeah, no Chicago shit.
Where do you guys come out on deep dish versus thin crust? I feel like this is what people want to know.
I am a fan of what's the place in the valley?
Geno's?
Geno's. Very good. Also, Town in Highland Park, their Detroit pizza is fucking amazing. And it's deep dish.
It's more like a pie when it's a deep dish.
Yeah, it's very filling.
I love thin
and crispy.
I
like both. Why not? Why can't
I like
you have
it all.
both?
I'm with you.
Okay. Oh, very filling though.
Newport Group. Here we go.
No easy way to say goodbye.
So
Joel Evans and Friends plays.
This probably was this may have been one of my favorite episodes or scenes that I've ever
I actually had a
do.
distinct memory of writing this scene. I was home for Thanksgiving visiting my parents. And for whatever reason, I remember writing the scene in a chair in my bedroom.
Really?
Like my
Your
childhood
bedroom. And you're like, they're going to be smoking cigars.
Yeah, and Julie's got the cigar, you know.
What did you write here on your notes? The cigar cutter would...
Oh, it reminded me of Bobbit.
That's exactly what it's supposed to remind you of.
Right? Because she's like, that's what I want to do to Caleb.
Yeah.
Which is actually a word in the dictionary that means to cut off a penis.
Bobbit?
Yep. After Lauren Bobbitt.
The words that made it into Webster's this year.
Yeah.
Bobbit.
Lorena. Sorry.
Right?
What did I say?
You said
whatever.
Bobbit.
You were close.
Lorena?
I know Bobbit.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're definitely more right than I would be. Anyway.
So in the scene, first of all, I do have to comment on the fact that this was probably the closest to just Mindy and Kelly hanging out.
Yeah, it felt like
fun.
Because there was a period of time where I was into cigars for about a couple months. I actually did the cover of Smoke magazine, which sounds awful, but it's a cigar.
While you were on the OC?
It's okay.
Yes, I had the red hair.
They offered it to Rachel. She turned it down.
But there was a time where cigars were like kind of cool, and Kelly, of
cigar
course.
aficionado.
Yeah,
that was there was all the cigar bars. Schwarzenegger was a big proponent.
Yeah,
yes.
and
cigars had a moment.
The Cuban, what was the there's the cigar club in Beverly Hills. Yeah, that we used to go to in the late 90s.
Humidor locker. Yeah.
Great times there. But that was about it. But no, Smoke magazine was the lesser version of Cigar Aficionado.
Right.
But Kelly, it was like, you know, there were certain things, she's very healthy and conscious of that.
Yeah.
There were certain things she wouldn't do. I was shocked that she said okay to it. And I think it took a little...
Did they give you an actual...
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, we were smoking them in there. And her face is exactly it. And I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Throwing down some scotch.
Yeah.
Talking about your problems.
The old days. Okay.
Seeds planted of the dating app that would come.
But in that situation, in that moment where she says, you know, I'm here and you know, my marriage is in trouble. And Julie's like, ooh, gossip.
Yeah.
Let's break it open.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then she says, you know, okay, go ahead. And she's like, well, my husband's on the run with his ex. And she's like, well, I'll raise you.
Right. My husband is harboring a fugitive who happens to be his ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
Well, what is it?
I'll raise you a fugitive ex-girlfriend with a lesbian daughter.
And a lesbian daughter. She's
Yeah.
like, Marissa? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a phase. Well, it was for me. But then she says, you know, you and Sandy, seriously, you're the center, the moral
center of the show, which was the audience's point of view as well, which is why we were like, let's go fuck with it.
So naturally.
At this point,
yeah.
Would
you have taken that further? The Rebecca Sandy storyline had the audience. No,
because
it was always the
we don't
plan.
know what the audience reaction is going to be. I think people had a bigger reaction to it than
anticipated,
considering it was fairly chaste. But people really did rely on Sandy and Kirsten to be the moral center of the show. But obviously Kirsten has more. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but Kirsten's got some rougher waters ahead by the season.
There's
2
some
finale.
emotional damage that's not healed just by
That's coming at the end of the season. Yeah.
But so watching this, I felt very confused because it
In a good
wasn't
way?
so. In a good way. You're like I could see. I remember it before rewatching it. I remember it being very antagonizing for the audience and people's reaction to it. But then I was watching. I'm like, it's not that bad. So there was this confusion and frustration.
I think it's when they had their kiss that was the in hindsight, but. Got a rise at it. I mean, it got a reaction. I mean, I feel like
it sure did.
It wasn't
a good one.
It got people talking, and it all worked out.
But
Right.
now, Sandy, they're driving
Yep.
and the road's washed out because
There
there's
you
only
go.
one way back.
Well, also when it rains in Southern California, very quickly the roads do get washed out.
It's true.
I had a picture of
The
where
rain was
this
going to
is.
affect the drive. The rain was going to affect the plane taking off for Italy. The rain's just causing havoc everywhere.
Right,
Mhm.
another trope. But then I was trying to picture where this would be, and you guys could look this up. Maybe they're on the Ortega Highway, and
Let's get out that map again.
He had to go to Hemet to
You
get
bet
her,
you.
and because that's anyway.
Hemet.
And they had to
Nothing.
go back.
She said
Lodging
it's-
is up the road. How convenient. Now, one of the best songs in the episode.
Yes, this scene made me laugh. Yeah.
Boys to Men, End of the Road plays as Seth lies on his bed.
So we went to a charity event, all of us, in season 1,
Yeah.
and Boys to Men performed.
Really?
You were there. Oh my God. And
I love Boys to Men.
I'm aware. So everybody reacted. You were like so psychotically into it. Everybody was like, and it was like just Boys to Men. So that is what inspired putting Boys to Men into this episode.
He's sad, and what would
Because it's not really in the musical vernacular of Seth Cohen to listen to Boys to Men, but as he said, it is the saddest song I've ever known.
Did you have a sad song, Rachel? Would it have been this?
For
Yeah.
sure. I listened to like Coast 103.5 in my day.
So did
Sad
I.
love songs.
I was listening to 70s love songs this morning, but mine was All at Once, Whitney Houston.
Mm.
That's a good song. I loved this scene though with Seth and Ryan.
Yeah.
The dialogue in it, like everything. It was a
It
really
was funny.
great scene.
It was fun. They played off each other. They have such great
Eureka,
chemistry.
Ryan.
Yeah, the Eureka stuff. And when he goes, "You freaking Rika," that was like classic Brody, putting a little
Improv.
sauce on it. And he's turned this music off. It's depressing me as he storms out. And they're kind of going back and forth of like, if you see any more flaws in the plan, could you, if I wanted my parade rained on, I'd step outside. It was
very
fun.
good
It was
banter
I was
going
enjoying
on.
it.
I was like,
And they're
it's
just so fun together.
They are.
so fun.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wrote, why does Seth have to be so complicated? Because he's endearing that way. But, I need a grand gesture.
Work with
because
Grandmaster
of
gesture.
getting the boat back will be grander than Tuscany.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Sure. Well, Ryan's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grander than Tuscany.
Yeah.
Yep. That tracks.
You freaking Rika.
You freaking
And then
Rika.
what did he improv on the way back out?
Turn the song off. It's
That
depressing
was an
me.
improv?
I can't remember, but it felt like
Yeah,
it.
he's like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
Right.
it felt like it.
The little Seth Button. Okay.
Guy was funny, man.
He was.
Brody's funny
He
guy.
is- He is a funny guy.
Funny guy.
Okay. So the song continues to play. We're in Summer's
By the
room.
way, on CD,
yeah.
panning off of like the CD stereo.
I miss a good boombox, with a CD player.
Yeah,
Well,
they're out there.
Our daughters all have Walkmans
Yeah, Rachel
now.
has gotten my
What?
daughters each Walkman,
Real one?
Cassette
real one,
Walkmans.
cassette Walkman,
Cassette Walkmans.
Yes.
That's awesome.
with like a limited cassette collection to start with, but they would just
Well,
listen
it's
to.
hard to come by,
She was gonna buy my younger one who was turning 7, the Ariana Grande cassette.
I didn't know.
And I was like, have you, look at and I sent her the lyrics and they are, one of the songs is just called 34 plus 35. I'll let you do the math on your own and figure out what that song's about.
I didn't know. But then I got some classics like Janet Jackson.
You did. And then I went on eBay and I bought 25 cassettes of like,
It's all eBay.
it's all eBay, and then they stopped using it.
Have
But-
your daughters looked at it and gone, well, so what's this thing?
No,
And
they're
have they-
constantly going like, doesn't work, Dad. And I'm like, you have to flip the cassette because it's round out on one side.
Uh-huh.
and they haven't had it get cut up
One
and
of the
fix it with a
tapes, one of-
pencil.
one of
It
them got
ate Billie Eilish,
it
I
ate
think.
Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
which I was okay with because there was some more bad language there. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, we're just teaching them, the root,
No, they're like the commitment to just listening to one thing is actually
right.
fascinating
And
to
what
witness
I
for
miss-
kids who only know an endless amount of choice.
Yes.
But and what I miss is, you hear a song. I heard the Go-Go's the other day, and I was like, oh, and I know what song comes after on the on the album.
Right.
When you hear a whole album in a row, and you could do it that way.
The good old days.
Yeah.
And so Summer's listening to this, and she's really waiting for
The song
Motown.
She has a great cover when Zach's like, "Why are you listening to this? It's so sad."
And I'm like, I was waiting for Motown Philly.
Yeah, Motown Philly.
Motown Philly back again. Anyway,
so
reliving my
Do a
youth.
little East Coast swing.
of course, you have the crazy amount.
See, you actually love Boyz II Men too.
Who doesn't love Boyz II Men?
Who doesn't love Boyz II Men?
Come on,
What's
you
not to
can't. You
love?
can't have grown up and then
In our era.
Yeah, it's great. The
Okay,
one guy
so
with the really deep voice.
Yeah.
A lot of Samsonite on that bed.
There's a lot. And you're going to get
Oh, yeah.
hostile if you have to go to a hostel.
Yeah, you haven't seen Hostel. He's put me up in one.
That's right.
Classic summer.
I just like that she's looking at her phone with Seth's picture.
I said that
What
too.
is that
yeah.
graphic? I didn't have pictures on my phone.
On your flip phone?
Well,
your
I
flip
had
phone?
a Nextel. That's what it was.
Mm.
We didn't
I
have
think we had
those.
pictures, and it's like 555-5555.
Yeah, exactly.
The phone number.
Yeah.
How many people tried to call that?
Yeah. But Summer is starting to freak out. Understandably so.
All right. And Seth had the advice about the
The
hair dryer.
plug.
I don't want you to brown out Western Europe.
I
and then
have
Zach
Done that.
being so thoughtful.
He's the golden retriever.
He
He's
is.
perfect.
Well, Luke was kind of the golden retriever.
Yeah, but Zach really is.
Zach's almost more of a chocolate lab,
Fair.
a yellow lab.
A mellow
Okay,
one.
we'll call him a lab. That's fine.
He's so sweet. He's so also
He is
charming and
So
adorable.
sweet.
And yeah,
Did
Michael
you model
Cassidy.
that character after
Myself,
I was
obviously, obviously.
Oh, that's good.
But see, just when you're looking for the flaws, you can't find any, and I think
But
that's
that's
one of the reasons.
frustration.
That's
Right.
what keeps her with
Yep.
him.
That would make me crazy, personally.
Yeah,
No comment.
but yes, that's when he says, isn't it weird that I'm in the wedding? Anyway, we talked about that.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and it
then,
is weird.
And then he talks about his sister being, again,
He's
very
like, yeah, a matter of fact.
alienating and severe.
Right.
Just the word severe cracked me up. I don't
But
know.
I think
Yeah.
things like this would
That
happen.
may have
His
been a-
delivery, though, is
that,
like,
yeah, he's so
He's so
innocent about
genuine.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She sounds
Okay.
great. But yeah.
I loved this. So next we're at Alex's and Seth shows up with his Spider-Man on, and she instantly is like, "Hey, Seth!" Like, doesn't
She
even,
knows.
No.
Oh, hi, Seth.
Like, who else would be
Yeah.
on her doorstep with a Spider-Man mask
Right.
on?
But we can also, this is
Just
what
your
I
friendly
love.
neighborhood Seth Cohen. Yeah.
You notice a change in Alex. She's happy. She
Mm.
kind of does it with a smile, not like, which in the past, every time Seth shows up, she's a little annoyed. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, and she's like gonna front him money. She's like, "Sure,"
But
Yeah.
she's like, hi, in a good mood.
She's going to hire him back. She's going to
Yeah.
hire him back.
so he can buy back his boat.
Even though he was, what does she call him? Like the worst.
Employee.
Play ever.
Yeah. Or not the worst. She had some other term for it. Yeah. And then Marissa
and who
walks
walks
in.
out in a very, very revealing robe,
Mm.
I might add.
Was revealing. Yeah. But I remember it was scripted that Brody was going to do that.
Oh, it was scripted? I wanted to
And
ask.
he was not into it at first. He didn't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then when he did do it, he was really good at it.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
really funny.
It was really funny.
Yeah, he was funny about it.
It
I
was,
thought it was a Brodyism.
And again, it probably in today's climate, maybe it's a little bit, but he's a teenage boy.
I'm curious
big.
about that because I always just root for, my peers doing well in a scene. It's written well. It's funny. But does it come off as inappropriate in today's world?
Probably.
It does?
It probably does. But again, we're trying to own it in places, and we're obviously talking about Alex is like, is this just about being rebellious? Is this a sincere relationship? And Seth is a teenage boy. And I think
Right.
also the idea of like, wait, you left me for her? There's like that part of it as well,
Yeah.
coloring
Right.
it. So
I buy it.
Pink Motel.
Pink Motel.
Okay.
Sandy and Rebecca. Ding dongs are cheese
So-
sticks.
So this whole thing was
That's
they
what
were
was on it, yeah.
forced into, and Sandy's just being a little too nice, almost, and then I think this is where I have questions for you.
Okay.
Like, Sandy's just giving off such nice vibes,
He's nice.
and he's nice, and
So he's a chocolate lab.
they're ding dongs and cheese sticks, which is what a throwback to the TJ
Exactly.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And and then Rebecca's like, she tests it. We're just here. We can do this. Nobody has to know.
It's just us.
It's just us. So my question is, like, how much is Sandy, in your opinion, liking the attention or feeling those feels that he did from 22 years ago? And And is he doing this? And you've just established that he's doing this because he's doing it for the right reasons. But how much is he actually enjoying this attention, do you think? A little bit throughout this?
I mean, it's hard to separate out your personal feelings or the nostalgia or like feelings that you used to have for somebody when you see them again. It's impossible to kind of just separate that out completely, So it's definitely infusing part of it that he did care about this person. But I feel like it's pretty clear throughout this whole scene that he's not going to cross the line. I mean, Rebecca's definitely luring him, and she's definitely ready to like bust that marriage open and like make it happen on the cheap bed of the pink motel. But he's pretty steadfast here and kind of pulls back. He tries to call her.
2 rooms.
We don't know that. We don't know what the vacancy situation was. How many other people's cars were washed out?
Right.
Okay.
That's
why you're the writer.
We also don't know that they didn't have 2 rooms. He may have just brought dinner to her room.
Yep. Okay. I believe it. I buy it. All
Just
right.
saying.
Okay.
You don't know.
I rest my case.
We don't know. But we got the nice shot of him outside the motel trying
Calling
to call. Yeah.
Kirsten.
And he says, I got to call Kirsten. I mean, there's also that like, he didn't have closure. She took off.
Right.
So this is him working through, even though he's like, there's no way I'm going to admit, she's got feelings for me, Kirsten.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have feelings. I mean, I think he knows that inherently. I just think is a piece of him that is still feeling those feels and enjoys a little bit of connection. And this will hopefully give him, and is giving him, some closure on this relationship. And we also don't know what she's been doing all this time. He's a different person building a family. She's been on the run all this time.
Right.
So she's living on the edge, bringing out the pot and the tequila, and he
can't help herself from falling.
He did that a little bit with her. He went down that path with her a little bit, and he's sneaking in and he's doing all those things. So now I think he's like, yeah, this is getting to be a little bit too much. Okay,
a little much.
Boundaries, people.
It's time. It's time.
Seth goes to get his boat back.
This has been fun.
It's been a bit modified.
Well, he has the whole thing of like, oh, very Melville of you that you refer to it as a she, the boat.
Right.
Yeah. And Moby Dick, Moby Dick reference.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay. And he reveals shark's teeth, and the boat is now named
Gimme Sex.
The Gimme Sex. Subtle.
Very subtle.
Was that the only name for it? Or how many names went through?
I feel like this cracked the room up. I feel like there were some pitches and trying to remember, but I'm sure it was like John Stevens leaning into like what was, that it's funny because it's the most obvious,
Yeah.
Right. But it could have been Bob D. Yes. Who knows? I don't believe that one came from me, but I enjoyed it.
It's pretty.
What's not to enjoy?
Pretty funny.
Okay, Sandy calls Kirsten in the morning. She thinks he's cheating. He tells her he'll walk home if he has to.
Does she think that? I mean, she's thinking it's the next morning. I think she's got a hangover. She went to bed after scotch and cigars, right?
Maybe she screened those calls.
I could see her screening those calls for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed. Are you kidding me? I was pissed when he said, I'm going to the funeral, whatever, dumping the ashes off the pier with just him and Rebecca.
One of the best bloopers we ever had. I don't know if you guys talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ashes fly. Yeah.
And in fact, we noticed that the actual, because you did it in the blooper, you see the ashes doing this. The cut or the scene that made the episode was just the ashes falling into the lens.
Right.
So because you couldn't, I don't know.
Yeah, the wind.
Wind was not their friend that day.
Nope.
No.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Yeah, so
yeah.
Kirsten's paying a heavy emotional toll.
Yeah, that's what my note here was like, what is this doing to her? What is like stirring? And
no, I'm so pissed with her. There was one scene where I was like losing my mind. Maybe it was that when he leaves. He's like, I'll be back. And he actually leaves. It was Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was
she
so
closes
mad.
the door.
Oh, I was so mad.
Yeah.
All right. I know. Marissa's bedroom, Julie shares that she experimented when she was Marissa's age. This is the Motley Crue Jaeger reference.
Well, but so I like that Julie, she didn't overreact. She didn't judge.
You're trying to be cool.
She did say,
she's definitely minimizing.
Yes. Yeah, but she does share this, it was a phase, Motley Crue, Jaeger, but she does bring up, it's Newport, let's not, she doesn't want it to get out. Right?
And then Marissa moves out.
So
she has her suitcase and she tells Julie she's moving out. And you kind of just stand there, which was shocking for Julie.
What's she going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah.
By the way, I think you stay dry this whole episode.
I know, I noticed that.
God damn it.
Well, there was I made up for it in season 4 with Willa at the anyway.
Yep.
It's coming up. That's
Okay.
that's later on.
I love this scene with Seth sitting on the boat with Ryan because when he reveals
Okay.
that
Their exes are
their
dating.
exes are dating now, and like the long moment of silence where the boys are just taking that in.
Pondering that. Yeah.
As Kirsten
I
walks
laughed.
in.
Yeah.
Like the
Yes.
last person they want.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Kirsten walks in to let them know that the results are back on the
But
DNA
I
test.
like that she walks in and says,
Why is there a
right.
boat?
Well, first of all, Seth says they're no longer welcome in the red states.
Right.
Right.
So that was a thing that was happening. Now we kind of just blue states and red states. It's just like we take that for granted now. But that was a kind of a newer concept then that
Was
there's
it?
blue states and
Wow.
red states. Yeah. That was kind of just entering the lexicon. It was the
Wow.
era of George W. Bush. And
Who's that?
But it shows how far we've come from that.
have we come to that far?
Well, would you make that comment about a lesbian couple? Would you say you're not welcome in the red states today? I don't think
No.
so.
Well,
Okay.
I feel like Queer Eye, when they relaunched, they're like, we're turning the red states
Yeah.
rainbow or something.
Right.
So it is still
Yeah.
whatever the quote is. Anyway,
But
yes.
yes.
So they make that
it's a
comment.
dated reference, but also a window into the world.
Yes.
Right.
And also Seth, when Kirsten walks in and she's like, I'm not even going to ask why there's a boat in
Yeah.
my living room.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're going to put it in the pool.
How did they get it in there?
And they're going to put it
Yeah,
in the
how
pool.
did they get it in
We don't-
there?
it doesn't matter.
Well, they're bifold doors.
There you go.
It is
See,
a
I'm
funny.
a writer now.
They turned the boat on its side. But Seth refers to the boat as an objective correlative. He goes,
Yeah.
Mom, this is an objective correlative. And that was like a big Bob DeLaurentis term. He was always
I don't even
referring-
know what it means.
So an objective correlative, there's quite a few of them playing out throughout this episode. It is an object. It is something that has some symbolism or meaning for the story.
Okay.
So the summer breeze is an objective correlative as it reminds, as the romantic gesture for Seth and Summer. And then there's obviously the big one, which is what turns Summer, which is Captain Oates, is kind of the ultimate objective correlative in this episode when Summer sees the little kid
Yes.
with the plastic pony. That is the kind of your textbook objective correlative. Anyway,
Got it.
Bob D taught us all about objective correlatives, talked about it often in the room, and so it just went into the script. It's like, it's what it is.
Right.
An straight
I
up
like
objective correlative.
it. I like
It's
it.
a literary term. I'm sure Stephanie also knew what it was, just not me.
For sure.
Okay.
Seth calls Summer and asks for one last shot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're with him, is it
So
like
this is when
what
you're
we
about
had?
to leave,
I'm about to leave. Okay, so I'm about to leave
and then what do you
To the
forget?
airport.
And what do you
to
forget?
the airport.
What do you forget?
I forget Princess Sparkle.
So that's why you're back to take that call,
Is it Princess Sparkle or Princess Sparkles?
singular.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was right.
Can I
Okay.
mention though that how much Zach is carrying? He's actually carrying her luggage,
Yes.
and
I had a
didn't
question.
Seth not do
What?
that?
Oh, not carry her luggage? I mean, I don't know if he
Anyway.
would have been physically capable of it.
Right.
But later in the episode, when I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but when you leave, I was like, those bags are checked? How, like,
Right.
what's
Oh,
happening
I
to
had the same thought.
what's happening to the
Of
12
course, our
pieces?
like neurotic,
Yeah.
like travel brain.
They're going to Tuscany
Yeah,
at
they're
this
going
They're
to
point.
going to
Tuscany.
Tuscany. She doesn't even care at this point.
Yeah. What does Zach say about Samsonite? Is there like additional, I don't know, he had some funny line. But let's talk about your home phone.
Oh my God.
Elegant.
Very elegant.
And
A
no
phone-
caller ID.
A phone fit for a queen.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it was
The-
very
retro.
The thing is, I mean, retro for like the 1930s.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that
it was
phone.
very loud.
Yeah.
I was going to say Victorian, but that
Yeah,
would have been a
Victorian.
little too.
So is that
uh,
what's happening here? Is he's calling me? Is
Isn't
this
that
when
the
I go
scene?
back for Princess Sparkle?
Isn't
So
that it?
you
Okay.
you leave and
Yeah.
you say you got to go back,
And I say
the
no.
phone
Like,
rings, and you're like,
you-
you don't get to ask me that
Mhm.
again.
Yeah. And he's like, is it? And I'm like, I don't remember. It was so long ago, and you
Which, little do we
clearly-
know, that's the most
That's-
autobiographical line in the history of the show.
I thought that as well. But yeah.
I can't remember. It was yesterday.
Yeah, like your relationship with Ryan was more whatever.
Oh, damn.
than...
You're still salty that he
I
sailed
am
to
still
That he
salty.
sailed to Portland.
Yes, he did. Little
Well-
bitches on boats.
We mentioned in the last episode that you were it's taking this long for her to start to thaw out even from
Girl
that.
can hold a grudge.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Clearly.
You know those resentments only hurt you, honey.
Well, Super Bowl.
Oh.
Damn it.
So here's the most, it was an awkward scene on purpose. The Caleb,
yeah.
Lindsay,
Yeah.
Ryan, Kirsten, Renee all sitting, waiting for, and the only scene with Allendale for this episode.
Oh.
Just sitting
But
there.
he looms over the whole episode.
Right.
It's present.
Yes.
But they're like, somebody say something. And that like,
The rain. Yeah, it's pretty rain. It's a lot of rain. A lot of rain.
And
Yeah.
the doctor reveals that
It's a girl.
it was a match. Okay.
Congratulations. Oh, and he
Womp
says,
womp.
I
Yeah.
always knew. Did he?
Mhm. Well, he did think it. He wasn't going to get the test, but Julie's the one that planted that whole thing.
We've noticed that, and I think he's easily manipulated when people actually make sense or tell the truth.
Interesting.
He definitely looks to Sandy and Julie. You know, she has some bit of influence from time to time.
Love Allendale.
I love Allendale.
End of the Road plays again.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Seth is back in bed. Brian asks if Seth wants to join helping Lindsay move in with Caleb.
Doesn't want to lift those suitcases.
And here comes, what does he say?
He's going to stay inside, and there's a marathon of Sherman Oaks, the real valley. And Ryan asks, what's that? And Seth explains that there's a reality show spinoff of the valley because why watch the fictional lives of characters, or why watch the lives of fictional characters when you can watch real people in contrived situations, or something like that. Which was a response to Laguna Beach, which had launched that year as the real Orange County, as the real version of our show. And I remember watching Laguna Beach and being like, oh, we did.
I know. I remember you saying that.
I had a lot of anxiety watching that show.
Shocking.
But we find out that it was promoted to us or presented to us as a real show, but we found out later it was scripted.
Well, yes. Obviously,
right?
people are making phone calls, and somehow there's cameras at the other side
and there's
where the calls coming.
angles, reverse angles, and such.
But even still, it was contrived situations, but those were real kids. They lived in Newport. They were real teenagers. It just felt real, and it really freaked me out. It freaked me out.
That was the first.
Which, looking back on it, it was like, yeah, it was not probably a great use of my energy, but
was that the first?
Things were going too well. I had to sabotage it. Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Was that the first spinoff, and then Real Housewives started?
Yeah, Real Housewives came after that.
After that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Look what you did.
I know. Look what you did.
Didn't get a nickel.
I know. As we found out in Oscar at the Crown, right? That musical.
Oh, yeah. Sandy and Rebecca drive in the car.
What?
There was a musical. I'll talk to you about it.
Ask Steve Schwartz. He's the only one that actually listens to every podcast.
Okay.
Hi, Steve.
She tries. Okay, so Sandy and Rebecca
What
drive.
about Honey? Honey's listening right alongside her.
Honey, well, Steve's very vocal about the episodes.
Well,
Honey, I appreciate
Steve's
you.
vocal in general.
Yes,
Okay.
true.
Sandy and Rebecca driving his car.
And it's raining.
But Sandy's finally a little frustrated and a little feisty.
He wants to get back to his family. He's done with this. He gets it.
And he's
He's
yelling
woke.
at the traffic. He's yelling at people, can't drive in this rain.
He
Well,
swerves.
That's what he's a New Yorker.
He's a New Yorker.
He gets it. He's like,
That's
what the hell's
yes,
wrong with these
this
people?
is weather.
Yeah.
But she starts talking about, should we talk about it?
Last
And he's
night,
like,
the kid.
I
yeah.
have a family,
Right.
which I'm like, finally.
No, I mean, he got up and left to call Kirsten and what have you. Yeah.
And what happens? He swerves off the road. Down
Yeah.
goes I think he's in a BMW. Down goes the Beamer
Mm-hmm.
into the woods.
And then we go to a break.
Of course.
Because,
Naturally, what's going to happen?
What's
You have
going to
to-
happen?
I mean, there are commercials.
Right.
There are. And what happens? Well, a trucker has called the cops because they went off the road.
Yeah,
And
he's doing his duty as a
he is. That was the right thing to
Good
do.
Samaritan. That's what
Good
you
Samaritan,
should do.
absolutely.
And
And
Rebecca just absconds into
She's
the
like,
rain.
I'm
into
outta
the
here.
rain.
She just goes into the mist.
Yeah.
I just had this vision of like Rebecca living like Nell. Remember Jodie Foster?
Yeah.
And Nell, she's just like, Rebecca's just living in the woods like Mbe, Chickabay, just living out there. And maybe we pick her up 20 years later. And
That's
she's
really
just
funny.
subsisting off
Yeah.
wood chips and squirrels.
Well, and it's funny that as persistent and dogged as Sandy has been, that he just stands there and watches her walk up
Yeah,
the,
'cause he's
the
like, "Yep,
slope,
I
and he's
can't."
like, he literally goes, that's it. She's
Yeah.
right. The
Yeah.
911's coming. They're
What's
going to
he
say,
gonna
who
do?
are you? What's going on? The FBI. Yeah.
His car's in a ditch. It's not like he
Right.
can give her a lift somewhere.
Nope.
Got to let her
So
go.
All
off
right.
she goes.
Off she goes into the torrential downpour in a
To
forest.
go live off the land.
Where do we shoot this?
Live in a tree. I was trying to remember where we shot this. I was not on set for this particular scene. So I
don't.
can't tell you. Let's go. Can we phone a friend?
You're like a gizmo. You can't be in the rain.
No, I can't. I start, little Josh just
could've-
start popping off. Of me.
Let's
What?
go
Rabbit
to.
hole.
I know. Let's go to the airport because I know where this was. We turned like the commissary or
Mhm.
whatever it was on stage
Mhm.
into the airport.
In Manhattan Beach at Raleigh Studios.
Yeah, right? Didn't
Mhm.
we?
Yes.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Whenever
and I
we
actually
did an
remember
airport.
this.
But
That's where
well,
we did
except
it.
when Anna left in season 1, we went to an
Long-
airport.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not there.
You were there.
No, I was not.
You weren't there for Anna's goodbye. You're right.
No.
Okay, you're right.
It was just
All right.
Seth and Anna's
you're
moment.
right. You're right. You're right.
Thank
But
you.
Summer just infused.
I'm just
the
there,
scene.
though.
You're there.
Yes, always. And Summer's with Zach's family.
Now we get to see the sister.
And we get to see the alienating severe sister
Yeah, needs a
Again.
Xanax.
who needs a Xanax.
Do you
She's
want a
like,
magazine? She's like, Xanax.
I know Xanax. I'm
And
like,
then-
In Touch, Us Weekly?
By the way, R.I.P. all those titles.
I know.
The print version,
The
anyway.
print version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very big time for magazines.
It
and
was.
being on set with all of
You know,
those
what
and
was
the
the
gossip
you know what
ones.
the biggest magazine of that time was?
Don't say it.
Rolling Stone.
God damn it. I knew you were going to say that.
I don't even know where to look. Oh, there's the camera.
Schwartz.
Rolling Stone.
Oh, God damn it.
But
Yep. Okay.
but wait, what magazine does the mom ask for? She's like an
Economist
economist.
or something?
Economist, yeah.
Yeah, and they're
Maybe
talking about Botticelli or
Oh,
whatever.
Botticelli. You said I love his
I love his early
work,
the comedies.
which is what people used to say about Woody Allen's movies. Or what
Right.
Woody Allen would say, but yeah. Anyway, it was definitely anyway. Yeah.
A dated reference.
No, but it's funny.
It is funny.
But I
your
feel like
phone
Summer knew
rings.
she was being funny in that moment.
I think so because
She
we
knew-
reveal that Summer actually
Is
is
a super genius,
Yeah.
but also her reaction to it, like I don't really know who Botticelli is, so I'm going to throw out this
Right.
joke
Yeah.
of like his earlier works, the
Yeah.
comedies.
I like Summer.
Great.
I do too.
Who doesn't love Summer?
Her phone rings,
And
Mhm.
it's Cohen.
and that picture, the graphic
Pops up
pops up,
555-5555.
which Zach sees.
Mhm.
He does see, right?
He sees it. And
Zach-
By the way, I like Zach's reaction to Summer. Like even when she's doing that, and the the earlier with the work comedies, like he's just like smiling.
Yeah, he's just everything.
Look at-
He's just delighted by her. Yeah.
He is delighted.
she'll
he's
be okay.
Doting on her.
Yes.
And then she says, I got to go back. I can't do this.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't say that yet, but
Not
yes,
yet.
Oh,
that is
did I
what
get ahead of
happens.
myself?
You
Sorry.
did because Marissa's unpacking at
Oh, right.
Alex's, and there's no more room in the closet, and all the reality kind of sets in. Like,
Right,
oh,
she's got to
rent's
do
due,
dishes,
and
trash.
can you take out the trash,
Yeah,
and all these things.
Definitely a first for her on all the
Definitely
all
a
fronts.
first.
Yeah.
And then she's
Well-
like, well, walk me to work. I like walking in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought, well, she did live with Jimmy. They were living kind of, simplistically, but she wasn't
No.
necessarily paying the
She
rent
was not
and
paying
taking
rent,
out
taking
the
out the trash.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much. All right.
reality bites. So
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay's packing,
Mm-hmm.
but then she tells Ryan she's packing, but not to go to Caleb's. She is going to Chicago with her mother.
The deep dish pizza beckons
Listen, I get
like a
it.
beacon.
And the popcorn from Chicago, the cheese and
Oh.
caramel,
Oh.
it's the Chicago mix. First time I ever had it was in Chicago.
What about he puts one of yours in the hospital, you put one of his in the morgue.
What?
You bring a knife, you bring a gun. That's the Chicago way. Sean Connery, Untouchables, nobody?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
my brother would be all
Yeah,
over
there you go.
that.
I
All right.
love that movie. Okay, so Ben in this
By the way,
scene.
Zach, named after Zach.
From the Untouchables?
No. From 2022. It was a flash forward. And then, anyway, all right. Go
Okay.
ahead.
We don't go there around here.
Oh. I just barely got that. Trying to keep up with you two. Anyway.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah. You're the one unlike Sandy, you're keeping this car off the dish. All right. Yeah.
So no, but this was giving some props to Ben here
Yeah.
because this is where such the body keeps the score, man. The trauma of
Mhm.
everyone leaves. I love his performance and that he was so committed to her. I buy that he really likes her, and she's like, I gotta go. And he doesn't try to talk her out of it, and he does this over the shoulder hug, and his face just drops,
I know.
and it's like everyone leaves me,
Yeah.
and it's so sad.
I think he really
So-
liked Lindsay.
But he did really like Lindsay. He liked being able to be smart with her and that she was, but also she's like, it's, I got to go. That's my family.
She's going with her mom.
And
Like
Ryan,
everyone
and as
understands
somebody
that.
who lost his family, Ryan obviously understands the value of that. Yeah.
Yes.
And the whole experience of this being, just the entire story of Lindsay and her mom hasn't been that successful of one. Just the drama of all of it. Just when you think you're going to get involved with all these
Mhm.
families and egos and such, I can understand her wanting to leave. Now,
Yes.
my other question for you
Yeah.
is: was there a world where Lindsay stayed on, or do you know when you started character? And
Well, you always leave the door open.
Mhm.
Case in point, you two. Not starting as series regulars, becoming series regulars. So you start with it built as an arc, and then you kind of feel it out and see how it goes. And I think the feeling was we had kind of explored that side of Ryan. We had seen, him in a kind of more normal relationship with somebody who was, that was the pitch of like, she's bookish, she plays the oboe. It's like the anti-Marissa
right.
in a lot of ways. And I think we just felt like we had kind of had that experience and told that story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I have another question. Why does the trope of characters always like sacrificing love and they're leaving town or they're going to an airport, and it always seems to work
It always works.
in television and film.
Always works.
Because it's like she's just going to Italy, but it works for, she's
Yeah.
coming back.
I mean, it's just a dramatic,
People like
there's
the
there's
drama.
a clear choice. You
Yeah.
know, you get on the plane, you're gone. You
Right.
turn, you run, you're Jerry Maguiring down the
It's-
corridor. You're
There's a
You
lot
know?
of finality to it, even if
Yeah.
you're just going Anna
romantic.
goes to Philadelphia, and it's not like
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I was curious.
All right,
about
now
that.
Seth is, here we go. Seth's in the living room trying to watch TV, but the satellite is out.
Yeah.
That happens
That does happen.
when you
It does
have a
happen.
satellite.
yeah.
Now,
I used to have them.
you go on the roof and
No.
that's going to do
That's
something?
insane. But he was like, why is God deprived? This is one simple pleasure.
Yes.
I will not be denied. And he says, this I can fix. So here's a guy who feels powerless, who feels like he's
Right.
lost summer. Sometimes if you can just make the freaking TV work.
That's like you and your play and the audio, and if
yes,
you can just
I have
get
a lot
the
of
sound
issues. If I
working,
could just get the music to play.
that's
and
your wheelhouse.
wheelhouse, it might be, but it's definitely, I'm cursed. So, he's going to go fix it. He's got his mask.
Yes,
He's got,
he's ready to go.
He's
He's
got
getting
a
his
rope.
trusty rope.
yeah. And now I believe the Matt Pond PA cover of Shampoo and Supernova has
Well-
started or not yet.
But we didn't talk about Zach telling Summer.
Well,
Yeah,
it might
no.
be playing
And
under
I think
this
it might
scene.
start under this scene, but I could be wrong.
So
Could be
Zach
there.
is telling Summers that his sister's flipping out. Could she talk to him? She needs a Xanax. She has anxiety.
She's
The
like,
flight's delayed. All
okay.
these signs. He brings up signs.
He brings up signs. There's signs all over the place in this episode. Yeah.
There are. And what does Summer see? What is the word? The Bob D?
The objective correlative.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And looks down, and the little boy, I remember this little boy.
Yeah.
Of course, they had to cast a little curly-haired,
We
brown
did.
hair.
We were like, we need to find a little Seth.
We need to find a little Seth. He was
Yeah.
a very sweet little young man. He's probably like
Oh my
30
God.
now.
I mean, it's probably CG's age.
Yeah.
Right?
At the time.
No, he's maybe a little younger.
Older. CG was like 3 or 4. This kid was
CG
at least
No.
6 or
It's
7.
the same age of the year. So she would have been, if this is 2004,
Oh, so she was 4.
she was
Okay.
4.
Yeah, yeah.
So he
His
was probably
kid's a little
6.
older.
Okay.
Anyway, and she sees and he's playing with what looks like a little Captain Oaks.
Shout out to that kid. We should find out who it was.
We
he had
should.
a line. He's got a credit.
He does have a
Yeah.
We
line.
should track him down.
We
The
can.
intrepid
Ooh.
producer should track him down.
Diana, we need to do that.
Diana has just pulled up Max Burkholder.
Wow.
How old is he?
He's working, man.
Let's see. Born in 1997. Who can do math fast? Not I, said the fly.
7 years old. He would have been like 7.
But how old is he now?
What year is it? 22. So he's 29,
He's 29?
right? No,
All of
Is that right?
26.
26.
26.
Oh my God.
Wow, we're great.
I tried to do it on a calculator, but it doesn't work with
I would have been
you.
right. It's 2022. How scary is that? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
26.
So he's 25. He hasn't turned 26 yet.
Almost.
He's cute.
Yeah, and he's working. Good for Max.
Parenthood.
Wow. Okay.
Look at all
Shout
that.
out to Max.
Shout
Look at
out to
that.
Max Burkholder.
So Summer sees this little boy,
Yeah.
which of course reminds her of him.
Well, he's got the plastic horse.
He's
And
Yeah,
it
but
got
starts
how
with
did
the
you
horse.
Hello.
and everything.
And by the way, Captain Oates
Is he
sitting.
playing on comic books? Because that would
He's-
just
No,
be...
that would have been that's too on the nose. But if you remember when Seth's sitting on the couch,
They are comic books.
when Seth, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
we're not afraid to be on the nose. But when Seth is sitting on the couch and the satellite goes out, he's got Captain Oates next to him.
Yeah.
And Michael Fresco just got that little lingering shot of Captain Oates before
Right.
he walked off. Summer obviously went back to pack Princess Sparkle before she left.
Yep. All of these
All these things. All
So,
these
yeah.
horses.
And so
You have a little tear in your eye.
I do have 8 here. That's welling up.
But it
Did
was in
Joni put that
slow-mo.
in? Was that
No,
like a
that
drop?
was all me.
Self-generated.
Thank you very much.
Through
In the
craft.
middle of a scene, they can't run in and blow menthol in your eye.
Through craft.
Through craft. It's the
Wow,
only
well done.
time.
Well done.
Yeah, so she's saying she can't do it. And Zach says, truth be told, I didn't think you'd make it past security. Can't fight fate.
But the look on his face it's the one time I really see a lot of pain actually in Zach's face where he kind of goes, ugh.
So Zach and they kiss. And Zach, like the best guy ever. I mean,
And it was a nice kiss. You gave him a little parting gift.
I did. And I wipe his little mouth.
Did you slip him a little something extra on your way out the door?
There's no tongue in
There's no
television.
Okay.
But he was
Well-
he was hurt though. He
No, of
he
course.
does this look
Of
and he actually
course.
he
It's so
clocks the boy.
sad.
He clocks the boy, comes back, but he does that. It's okay. You know, he says the mature thing, but he's still
He's
in
very
pain.
mature for high school.
Yeah.
So now Champagne Supernova starts.
Okay, this is where it starts.
And a
Begins to
bus
play.
pulls
It
up.
starts. It kind of starts in the
You see the
under,
rain again.
under the end of that scene.
End
we
of
start
that
to hear
scene.
this. We start to hear the music. Yeah. But we'd had
We're
artists
precise here.
covering, you know, songs,
Right.
and we'd had Ryan Adams, which we did not. We didn't. That wasn't like our
Wonderwall.
Yeah. So Ryan Adams had done Wonderwall,
Mhm.
and that was great and worked well in the show. So then we actually reached out to Matt Pond, PA, whose music we had used throughout the show, and asked them to cover Champagne Supernova for us.
Got it.
That's
so Matt
awesome.
Pompier did, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. The Spider-Man was from
The first movie.
the first
Yeah.
in the
First
trilogy.
movie, yeah.
A bus pulls up with Sandy on it. Kirsten's waiting with an umbrella.
She looks great, by the way. Just her outfit, her little rain.
She has an umbrella.
Always looks great.
Yeah. And
Lucky.
she says,
Is it over?
well,
It never
she says,
started.
yeah, which is a great line, but she
Yeah.
goes, you took a bus.
Right.
That's like a big deal in California, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
that you
for,
take a bus. That
Well, I
meant,
think
that
it's a
meant
big deal
you're-
for them.
for them.
for
For
because
them.
we
a lot of people take the bus.
A lot
but
of people
yeah,
do take the bus.
I don't know.
But
It's
not-
like I'm like,
Sandy and Kirsten probably not normally
Right.
taking mass transit, but he did.
He did to get to her,
yeah.
and it never started.
I feel like that was a Peter Gallagher line. I
It
feel like
sounds very
it sounds
Peter
like something he would
Gallagher.
have. It sounds like something he would have pitched as the line. in
Oh,
the
really?
scene.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you think Kirsten thought when she says, "Is it over?" Was she
Mhm.
talking about an affair, or is she talking about just the
whole-
whole
Whatever it was.
the
It's
whole
whatever it
enchiladas,
is.
Whatever
yeah.
it was, just
Okay.
is it over?
Is it over?
Yeah. Okay, and they kiss.
But the
and that's good.
emotional damage is there.
Mm-hmm.
Seth climbs on the roof with his Spider-Man mask
Yep.
on. He does a nice slip knot, to secure
Mhm.
it in case he falls.
Mm-hmm.
Stunt-
Thank
this
God
is
he did.
Obviously,
I
a
love his
stuntman the whole
off-camera
time.
scream as
Yeah.
he falls off the
I
side.
know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, it was very
How
funny.
much was this? How much was a stuntman?
All of
Probably
it on
all
the
of it.
roof.
I mean, that's where your Spider-Man mask comes in handy that you can't tell it's a stuntman. Although I remember,
you can tell by the butt.
well, anyway, but
Rachel
because he
could-
had one, the stuntman had one. Is that
Yes.
what you're saying? Got it.
Uh,
So I do remember that Brody was not having the greatest time of his life, hanging upside down for
It
a
was-
long period of time.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
was awful.
It was terrible. It was physically challenging.
It was pouring rain inside on the set.
and all the blood's rushing to his head.
all
and
the
he's
blood,
hanging
and he's
upside.
hanging upside down.
And
All
then he
the
has to
water is
kiss
going up
you.
his nose.
Yeah, the whole thing was a disaster for
Let
him.
me just tell everybody, kissing upside down is incredibly awkward, not romantic.
Yeah.
Wet. I remember the taste of the makeup washing like into his mouth
gosh.
from the rainwater. I can still taste it. It was like,
Do you know this? What you're
Spitting.
saying? I read an interview with Kirsten Dunst, and she said the exact
Really?
same thing. They said it was uncomfortable. The water's going up the nose.
I'm glad
there
I
was
hadn't
nothing.
read that before we did this episode.
like I'm going to
No,
make them do that.
Yeah.
She said it was an identical experience. So
Yeah, and it was so wet on the sounds. It was just all
It was
awkward
wet.
and
It was a lot of water.
uncomfortable.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of water. We may have done permanent water damage to that
I'm-
stage.
how
I'm
could we
sure.
not
Oh,
have?
really?
Yeah.
But it was a big
Anyway.
moment. People still talk about the Spider-Man kiss
Yeah.
Right.
from the
So
movie
long, we're not
and
done.
the show.
We're not
Yeah.
even there yet. Oh, well, sorry.
What?
We kind of jumped ahead,
Yeah.
but as he climbs
Oh, sorry.
and he falls,
Mm-hmm.
then we have Marissa walking Alex to work, which
the
is
bait
very
shop.
sweet, to the
Yep.
bait shop. And she says, "No, I'm going to go back. Dishes aren't going to
Wash
wash themselves.
themselves.
That's
She's
right.
in it.
She's
Mhm.
in it.
She's in it." But then the pier has once
She
again
sees Ryan.
captured a sad soul. A lot of things happen on that pier.
Yeah.
And she
Lot of-
sees him in shock, essentially.
Yeah.
Just standing there.
Just crying. He's crying.
Well,
Is it
probably-
rain
this
or
could
is
be
it
rain.
tears?
He's just staring off into the middle distance.
He's
I think,
very upset.
contemplating. And she's like, "Are you okay?"
And
Yeah, I'm
he-
great.
Yeah.
Just decided to
No,
stand in the middle
this
of a,
is I'm
decided to
fabulous.
stand in the middle of a monsoon and stare off into the horizon.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was sweet.
It was sweet.
She put her-
yeah.
But what?
I was emotional.
It was
She
very
puts her arm
sweet.
around him.
She
I mean,
does.
yeah, it was a nice moment.
I know.
But
It
it
made me
was-
miss Marissa and Ryan.
Yeah.
Was
But
that
it
the
was also-
intention?
Yeah.
Marissa and Ryan get back together?
Oh my
Stop.
God.
But no, this was the first time. It was really nice to see them
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Yes.
Specifically,
Yeah.
even though
it
she's,
makes you realize you miss it. And yeah.
hmm
because she's now, I just feel like Marissa's in a I don't know, more humble or just experiencing life, whatever part of her life she's going
She's
through,
in a
where she can
place-
have that empathy.
Yes.
She's always had that empathy, but circumstances have made her kind of have to be a survivor. And when you're a survivor, it's like, how do I take care of myself? But she's kind of in this place where she can really be there for
And
somebody.
also just never knowing how Ryan's going to react to her and what their chemistry is. It going to be combustible or nice? Or, I feel like the gesture for her to put her arm around him is a little bit like, I don't know how he's going to respond to this. But he needs someone to.
He doesn't hit her. He doesn't smack it away.
No.
Well, that's a good point because remember we commented on when he thought he lost Lindsay, he really came after her.
Yeah.
And it was, and she's like,
That's
I
right.
just want to be okay. And you could see that he had some resentments and anger towards her. So that's
a brave gesture for her in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
good point. I'm glad you're here.
I do what I can.
Okay, now Summer takes a cab to Seth's. She has left the airport.
No purse, no luggage.
No, she leaves it all in the cab.
7
because
pieces of Samsonite luggage on their
All
way
gone.
to Italy. Yeah.
Tuscany, you're welcome.
The sole bridesmaid has abandoned the wedding.
You're wet now. Now you're wet.
Yes, I remember it well because I was inside, wet.
Just open the door.
Knocks on the door and opens it. Leave the door. I leave the door open, by the way. Also,
The door was also unlocked. So, you know.
Yeah.
all the things.
These,
There's
Opens
just, once
it.
you get past the
TV
gate,
magic.
once you get past the gate,
Yeah,
why do you need to lock the
I
door?
need to lock the door.
Right.
She's calling for, and then she hears help, or
Summer? Or
I don't know what he's yelling, and then
What are you doing here, Summer?
oh right, because I go outside and I see him hanging upside down
Yeah.
in
He's
his
like,
Spider-Man mask.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here, Summer? What do you think, Cohen? And she kisses him.
And then the very
You know what? I remember in the moment, I was like, is that the best? I remember feeling like I didn't quite nail that last
The
line.
line?
Like, but watching it, I felt like it worked. What do
Well,
you think?
I think are you talking about my performance?
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's older. Maybe.
well, the very last shot is a wide.
You could have
Yeah.
done a joke.
I know, but it felt like,
It was more sentimental.
Yeah.
It needed that champagne supernova.
mm-hmm.
I think it's I don't think it's a redo. I think we stick with it because but also
Yeah, if you could redo it today,
The
what
only
would you
thing-
change?
The only thing I was thinking was if the line. I
Any
thought
of
the
it.
line worked. I feel like you pull back and you see the gimme sex in the pool. Would have been funny.
That would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But
right.
oh well.
Whatever.
But
I don't know
but
that we had the technology for that.
I could just imagine. I
I don't
see
think it
you
would have
there.
fit in the
Yeah,
pool.
I don't think so.
I
either.
see you there, and the rain's pouring.
Mhm.
And I just thought, how long did they keep up the actual kiss where he couldn't breathe? And it looked like a long time.
He was like, had to hold his breath, like choking.
Yeah.
It was all bad.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry. But I will say, after this episode aired, I got a call like the next day from this guy named Avi Arad. And Avi Arad was like a big deal in the toy business. And then he was a producer for Marvel films, like in its early days. And he produced the Spider-Man movies,
Mm-hmm.
the original Spider-Man movies. And he called me and I was like, hello? And am I going to get sued? Like, what's happening here? And he loved it. And he
Aw.
invited me to his office. And I came in and I met him because he worked in the toy business. He had known my dad. And so anyway, he was really nice and really complimentary. And he was like, the calls that they got about, like, it was cool that the people who made Spider-Man
Right.
thought it was
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. And then he offered me an opportunity to write the Bratz movie.
Oh,
Yeah, what happened to that?
I didn't really know what, it was not my demographic.
It wasn't
at
your,
the-
yeah.
Right.
Got it.
But
got
anyway.
it, got it.
But it was really
That's
nice.
so
It was
cool.
super cool to meet him.
That's awesome.
Couldn't have been cooler about it. And it really made it feel like, oh, this made an
Well,
impact.
well
And
done. And
people made it.
also, well done for us, too.
Yes, to
Well,
everyone.
that is the Rainy Day Women.
Yeah.
Hey, one more thing.
Yeah.
I noticed, did you start writing more scenes for Kelly and me after this? Because this is the first time I feel like
I
they're
was going to
actually
say, this has
being,
kind of put you guys on the path for your
Friendship?
for your dating app. Your
Right,
For
dating
your
site.
your dating app?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
gosh.
Just watch the show.
Well, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here.
Okay, so that's the end of the recap of the Rainy Day Women.
Only 3 voicemails.
Only 3 voicemails that we have for Josh Schwartz. Josh Schwartz,
Well,
as
we
CG would
only
say.
picked 3.
Oh, got it.
There were more.
There
Okay.
were
There were
plenty.
4.
I mean, I left 7, so I know there was more. I have called in before.
Yes, you have. We've played it.
Oh, that's right. Very convincing.
Hi Josh, I'm Francesco. I'm 29 and I've been following you from Rome. I've loved the sea since I was little.
Oh.
My question for the episode is, what would have happened if Summer had gone to Italy with Zach and not returned to Seth? Thanks and congratulations.
Aw.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was
well,
his name again?
Francesco, I think?
Francesco. I think she would have gotten to Italy and met a man named Francesco.
Ah!
And
Well played.
that would have been it. That would have been it.
I don't see Summer backpacking through Europe.
No.
Something would have happened. She would have
Yeah.
been on a plane back.
For sure.
Or she
For
would have
sure.
been like, I'm using my dad's credit card and we're staying.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it would have been a successful trip.
No, but it does seem like Zach is more than willing to adhere to her demands.
Definitely want to, yeah. I mean, also, like, the family was staying at a hostel. It was unclear.
No,
But-
that was us going on after the wedding.
afterwards, right.
At least I think.
Yeah, got it.
That would make more sense.
Post-wedding, a little bit. While we're here, let's go backpacking.
Yeah.
By the way, when
course.
I was 17, I went to Italy and we did stay in hostels and I should have had a backpack, but I had a little rolly bag and it didn't work on the cobblestone streets.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Backpacks are the way to go.
Yeah.
I feel like backpacking through Europe, like after college or after high school, that was definitely a thing.
It
I don't
was.
know. I'm not sure if it's still a thing.
I don't know. It's a question in this world today.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Better
Certainly
than my dad sending me to camp with a trunk. Because he said that's what all the kids do when they go to camp.
You do. That's what
In
you
the
do.
Really?
60s, maybe.
I had a trunk when I went to Camp Kohut.
In the 90s,
No,
no kids had. I was the only kid. I was like Troop Beverly Hills in the parking lot with a turquoise trunk with gold hardware.
I feel like that was Prince Charles in The Crown. They did that, like, at the turn of
At the boarding
century.
school, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I had I feel like you got it. It's sturdy.
you had a trunk?
I'm with Danny on this one. Yeah, you got to have a sturdy trunk. There's a lot of weather at camp.
No other kid had a trunk.
Well,
Camp
you're unique.
Lakota.
You don't want to be unique when you're a kid.
Okay,
True.
next question. Next voicemail.
Hi, Rachel and Mindy. Just love the podcast so much. And it's
international.
quite funny hearing what you said, Mindy, about rewatching the show a couple of times or watching with subtitles. I actually remember I used to do that. It's kind of interesting how all the characters, that aren't the kind of core four move in and out quite quickly. And I wonder if you thought that the OC would maybe have more longevity if the characters stayed around for longer, like a bit in like 90210, they stick around and they end up dating each other a bit more. I would have loved to have seen a bit more from Luke and Anna, like if they'd have dated or something,
We talked
or
about
if
this.
Lindsay and Zach stuck around, maybe, there'd be a thing going on there. I kind of feel like rewatching it, the program was just obsessed with kind of trying to keep the core four intact. Anyway, love what you're doing and thank you so much.
Totally fair. We've talked about that. You know,
Mhm.
like keeping Luke around, Summer and Luke is a thing, or Seth and Marissa dating each other, or
What?
there's just different possibilities that we could have played with that we chose not to. And instead we had this kind of revolving door as we got into season 2. And, and then obviously season 3, there's a whole other public school side of things.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that probably we could have milked that, stretched that stuff out, repurposed people together in a way that would have been fun. But
Summer and Ryan.
Summer Ryan.
Mhm.
Throwing that out there.
Well, now
Yes.
get Ben to do the reboot, and that could be the storyline.
Well, Ben, you're not listening.
Kid, we just want
I think he is
we,
listening.
we just want 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you for your voicemail.
Thank you.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Melinda. Hey, Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Josh Schwartz. I can't believe I just said that. Like, I know you. I feel like since you guys have been on the podcast so much, you guys are doing such a great job, and we've seen Schwartz a couple of times, that he's
Schwartz.
just one of us. Anyways, my question is, did you know that Rachel and Adam were dating? At what point did you know? And did it change the way you wrote any of the episodes? Love you guys. Continue doing what you're doing. You guys are killing it.
You guys
Aw.
are killing it. I like him on a last name only basis with her. I mean, we were all pretty close back then. I don't feel like
You definitely knew we were dating.
Yeah, I don't know if we knew like day one. Did you guys try to keep it quiet, hidden?
I don't know.
What am I asking? But it didn't change how we wrote the story. I don't
It was
in any
always
way.
the story. Well,
The story was a story. Yeah, we didn't really write that you guys were together because you were together.
right.
It's like
We were together
life
because the
imitating art,
characters were
imitating
together.
life, imitating. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Torture
Wait, don't look. Then you're
Oh,
not gonna.
okay.
You don't look at the screen.
I didn't know.
Oh.
Fuck.
Well, then it
Jesus.
won't be rapid fire. You'll know all the answers.
No rain or champagne supernova.
No rain.
End of road or Motown Philly.
I mean, we sang Motown Philly tonight. So,
So you gotta go Motown.
Ding dongs or cheese sticks.
ding dongs.
Schmear or spread.
Schmear.
Spider-Man or Batman.
Spider-Man.
Favorite love song.
Ooh. Don't think twice. It's all right. Bob Dylan.
Okay.
It's more of a breakup song, but
Well, it still counts.
Favorite bagel.
Everything.
Kanye or Pete Davidson?
Pete.
Bicycle or motorcycle?
For myself, strictly bicycle. I would die on a motorcycle.
That was great.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh Schwartz.
Thank you, Josh Schwartz.
I don't know.
always so fun.
I don't know when I'll see you guys again.
I know,
you're
right?
off to go shoot.
I'm off to go.
Show.
Where are
we're
you
off to-
shooting?
We're shooting in New York.
Are you allowed
Nice.
to say what you're shooting and
Stephanie
promote
and
it?
Stephanie and I are going to go shoot a show for Apple called City on Fire.
Mhm.
Edited, first episode edited by Matt Ramsey, who edited this episode.
Oh,
Nice.
Also, Jeff Granzow is one of our editors who edited many of the episodes of the show. So,
Awesome.
We
The
used
team
Jeff
remains
Granzow's
intact.
name in the 4th season because I
It's
remember
true.
I couldn't say it.
yeah.
Just
Yeah, it's tough.
there you go. Well, it's always so wonderful. I wish we could have your memories for every episode because you just gave
Rachel
us a lot.
has
Well, we got a lot. It's good to
We
know
did.
about the Super Bowl. And,
God, no,
and
it's
milk.
not good to know about the Super Bowl because I'm going to be like ruminating on this fucking.
Rolling Stone.
God damn it.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him do a Pepsi commercial, as they say.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
can't lead a horse to Pepsi.
Nope.
Thank you so much for listening. Follow, rate, and review Welcome to the OC Bitches wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you like to watch us, check it out on YouTube.
I love YouTube.
I love you too.
I love you.
Bye, bitches.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to start with the pilot episode and catch all of our episode recaps.